Hello again, and I'm back for another kind of installment of catch up of December Daily. So I am pretty excited to get this project finished. Like I said in my last video, I've wanted to do this for a while, and so I'm just kind of showing you some of the things I've gathered here, and I thought I'd just film some of the process that I go through. So I really have enjoyed watching other people's process. So as you can see, I'm just cutting around some of the printables and creating some different like crest kind of emblems to put in, and these might become tuck spots or just embellish the page. You can see here as well, as I'm cutting, I'm trying not to use too many cutting motions. I'm just trying to make it one continuous motion and just turn the paper there, and that makes it go a lot quicker. So I really enjoyed cutting these out, and these are all found in my Etsy shop. And so I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to use them, but I think they will just be nice sort of sprinkled through the journal, and we'll get to sort of how that all comes together in probably the next video. So like I said in my last video, I've been collecting things that have made up our December, and I'm kind of trying to put that all together into a traveler's notebook for December Daily. So the cover that I decided to use, it's not exactly Christmas themed, but it is a part of my December. And then I'm just using different printables from my shop and different ephemera that I've gathered throughout December, and photos, and things like that. So one of the things is I have a few pages from A Christmas Carol, from a really old version of A Christmas Carol, sprinkled through the book, and I really like that because it is a classic Christmas novel. And at one point, I believe that I read somewhere that at one point this novel sort of saved Christmas, so people were sort of not too interested in it anymore, and then Charles Dickens wrote this, and he didn't even end up making much money off it, but he just the work itself, it's been such a well-loved classic, so I've wanted to put that throughout the book as well. So I've popped a couple of things in here, like this Times, the Times newspaper. My mum is always sending me articles from the newspaper, and so I wanted to put that in because that was a big part of December. And there's some photos from Cream Heroes, you might know on YouTube. She's got like 7 cats, and that seems to always be on TV here, so I've got that in. Big part of our December, and different other movies, like we watched Claus quite a few times, and also the Cinderella Christmas on Hallmark, which was a really good movie, and we watched that a few times through December as well. So one of the things I'm doing here as well is I'm just kind of thumbing through the pages and seeing what I have to work with, and sort of seeing if the narrative works for the insert. I think it's one of the funnest things about creating these style of inserts is, placing the pages, and anywhere that you move the pages, you're going to end up with all kinds of, different stories that are told. So I really like to just take this time and just kind of see if that's the way that I want it to run. I also wanted this to be fairly chronological, so I'm kind of going to put it in some, as much as I can as a chronological order through the journal. So it kind of reads how our December went, if that makes sense. And then, because we had just moved and things were pretty busy, so we didn't end up doing Christmas shopping till like 3 days before Christmas and things like that. So I want it to kind of read how our December went, yeah. I really love this image as well. It's kind of synonymous in my mind with Christmas, and I think they're giving toys away, and they're all dressed up, and it's really festive. Here I am putting in a little movie sort of pamphlet that I printed out, and I think I'm going to make it a tuck spot and maybe sort of sew around the edges there. So that movie, I think, sort of started out December. We watched it a couple of times. My mum really loved it, and the old grandmother in there, Madame Goronov, she's really nice too. So I am just going through now, and I'm going to start to try and place some of this ephemera where I think it will match in the book. So what I'm looking for is for the ephemera to either be decorative and help tell the story decoratively, or for it to be functional, and I can use it as a tuck spot or as a tip-in, for extra journaling space or things like that. So this is a stereograph, and I really love taking these and folding them in half and then gluing just the sides and the bottom and leaving the top open as a little sort of pocket tab on the side of the page. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out here which page I want this to go on. It's an old stereograph of like a Christmas tree and a bike. So I found this other one, but I think it's a little bit too wide. The one that I initially started with is a little bit shorter, and I kind of like it on both these pages, but I end up going, and I'm kind of trying to see if I can use one on one page and the other one on the other page, but I think that it takes up sort of too much of this picture, and if I pull it out, then it's going to stick out too far of the side. So I end up going with the other one on this page and something different on the other page. So here I'm kind of trying to see if I can put this stereograph in this flip out and sort of create a little bit more room there, or I can tuck something into that pocket there. And I'm still not sure about it at this stage. I think I end up going with that, but I need to find sort of something else to work with it to give the page a little bit more depth. But I also like this here as well, so I was thinking of maybe putting that on the side and using it as a tuck spot, just kind of gluing around the bottom. But I think I'm not sure, I think I end up putting it somewhere else. Yeah, so I think it ends up staying here, and I really like it here at the end. I really like how sumptuous these sort of 3 pages feel, and that muted kind of green colour, sort of like a sage green. I really like that for the Christmas, like ruby red and sage green or something like that, or strawberry red and mint green. I like that kind of Christmas combo. So here I'm just seeing how far this sticks out the edge and if I'm going to need to trim it or put it in some other way, but I really like this. I feel like this is a page kind of like Santa's chair, and so I think I'm going to somehow put that vintage angel as well in that other page So I've kind of liked this. It's an old embroidered purse. I like it on quite a few pages. I end up leaving it here because I think it just it helps to sort of give the depth to this whole page. And I put the stereograph back there, so that's how that page will end up. And I'm just going to use the embroidered purse as kind of a, just to put that in there, and I might like back that with a photo or something like that. And so here is the middle of a book plate, and I think I put this here as well. So as you can see, like through the book, I've got traditional reds and greens, I've got more pastel colours, and I think though in the end it's a pretty good representation of just December for us. So here I'm pulling in a couple of other pictures that I printed off, and this one is just like a Christmas gown I would really like to wear, but the others, that is the black and white photo, I'll get to that, but these are some more photos from the Cream Heroes, and I printed out a few different shots, and I think I'll end up putting one of those on this page as well. So I printed these out a little big as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up sort of making a side pocket and sliding them in there, or I'd kind of wanted to just glue them on, but obviously like they're way too big there, so I think at this point I'm looking for a spot to put that black and white photo. So that is a little screenshot from the it's an old movie with Jerry Lewis, and this one is the song That's Amore, and my sister was singing that like for the first week of December just non-stop, so we were having sing-alongs of that song all the time. It's quite funny. I'll link the actual video clip of just the song, and at the beginning his mum asks him to sing in front of all those people, and he's like, no, and then the dad goes, Joe, you're singing for your mama. It's quite funny. So then he sort of makes up this song. So anyway, so here I am taking this page, and I'm gonna just stick it in as kind of a pamphlet, just popped into the journal here. And I really love this image. It's actually of an old image of sick children being cared for in a hospital at Christmas, and then the back side of it is one of the angels from the Met Museum Christmas tree in New York. So at this point I am feeling like I've accomplished a fair amount, and I am thinking that I'm just going to stop here. But then I think I do a few more things off camera, and I'm trying to get everything in there placed and all the ephemera on the pages so that I know if I need to add any extra pages or if I have enough stories. I think I was watching Ali Edwards last year, her videos from last year, and she was saying how you can either do it day by day or tell 25 stories or 31 stories on different things like that. So I'm trying to do it by story, but also sort of chronologically. So there might be more than one story in a day, and maybe not a story for another day, but it's a sort of general sense of how we've gone throughout December. But I think I just stopped the camera there, and I sort of couldn't do it. I was having a hard time doing it on camera, so I just stopped the camera and I put a few things through and tried to kind of see how that would go, and so then I will just walk you through that now. And so, like I said, this is kind of with the ephemera and the embellishments, and then I am going to, there's like, other different family photos and things that I want to put in there. I also want to try and use some of the Ali Edwards overlays. So I got some last year, and, hoping to do it last year. The photo, I think it's the number photo overlays with the wreaths around them, and I really love those, but I didn't get a chance to use them. So I'm thinking to maybe try and use some of those this year. And also there are some other nice digital overlays that in her shop that I would like to try as well. So we'll see how that goes. And I will see you guys in my next installment. Bye.